Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Sally, and this is Wrestle MSX.
SmackDown opens with Cody Rhodes wanting to talk to Solo Sikoa. Sikoa makes his way out to chants of "We want Roman." Rhodes said that he owes Randy Orton and Kevin Owens for putting their bodies on the line. Sikoa responded by saying that when you beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, he was a weak tribal chief. "I'm dangerous. Let's make the SummerSlam match a Bloodline Rules match." Jacob Fatu, Tamatonga and Tangaloa then surrounded the ring. Rhodes singles each one of them out by saying he's not afraid of them and then accepts the Bloodline Rules match. Solo threatens to unleash the Bloodline on him there and then, but refrains due to their tag match later. Rhodes says all he has to do is defeat the tribal chief, and since he's not here, I'll settle for the wannabe. Sikoa and the rest of the Bloodline then skulk out of the ring and back up the rampway. Now it's Bloodline Rules. That opens up the potential for absolutely anything. So Orton back, Owens back,
yep.
Reigns,
100%.
Austin, because he was supposed to turn up at WrestleMania but had problems getting there, so that's why Taker was at WrestleMania in the Bloodline Rules match and he was standing in for Austin. So I wonder if they'll have Austin come out and do what he was supposed to do at WrestleMania. But this is open for absolutely anything now. Anything goes, that's it.
Yeah.
All bets are off.
Should be good though. Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade next. Fast-paced, with quick pin attempts by both men until Andrade went for the message, with Hayes escaping out of the ring. Back from the break, we find Hayes in control, working Andrade's arm. Andrade fights back with some chops and then hits a superplex on Hayes after both men had climbed the top turnbuckle. The match then became a slugfest until Andrade performed a moonsault on Hayes to the outside. Hayes replying with a facebuster when both men were back in the ring. Andrade then delivers the message. See what I did there?
Nice.
Which Hayes kicks out of at 2. A standing moonsault by Andrade into a pin gets him another 2 count, and even a figure 4 isn't enough to put Hayes away as he reaches for the ropes to break the submission hold. Andrade does manage to get the win in the end though by reversing a pin attempt on Hayes into a pin of his own.
Next we have Santos Escobar with Legado del Fantasma against Apollo Crews with Baron Corbin. Santos starts well, but Apollo does manage an impressive gorilla press. Escobar then gets a 2 count off a standing moonsault, but a confident Crews fights back and climbs to the top turnbuckle, only for Escobar to recover and manoeuvre Crews onto his shoulders, hitting him with the Phantom Driver. Santos covers Crews and gets the victory.
Backstage, we see Byron Saxton asking Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill how confident they are at winning the tag titles back in their match against Alba, Fyre and Isla Dawn. As you can imagine, their response was very.
Back from the break, we have Nick Aldis and some Cleveland dignitaries in the ring. Aldis then introduces Logan Paul to the ring. Paul says he inspires this city, Cleveland, and is Cleveland, to which the crowd boo. The dignitaries are there to recognise his greatness and watch him unveil his championship banner. The banner hanging above the ring is then unfurled. It's a picture of Paul holding his US championship, but it's been vandalised with the word "Yeah" written across it. Cue LA Knight. After sticking it to Paul and saying he's not even from Cleveland, he's from a small town outside, Knight says he's going to find Paul a new banner. Knight then heads off into the back, passing various superstars looking for a banner. Obviously, he doesn't find one, but what he does find is Paul's truck. Paul is not happy, so heads to the back, but he's too late as Knight drives off in Logan's ride. Now you know we're going to see that car at SummerSlam defaced with "Yeah" written all over it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to be, ain't it?
Yeah.
Got to be.
Next match is for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Alba, Fyre and Isla Dawn defending against Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. A double gorilla press by Belair and Cargill on the champions gets things underway. But the champions are no pushovers, with Dawn performing a backstabber on Cargill and holding her in place as Fyre performs a swanton from the top rope on her. This only results in a 2 count pin though. Cargill manages to tag in Belair, who enters the ring by hitting a crossbody from the top rope on both Fyre and Dawn. Belair then takes Fyre and Dawn to task, battering them both single-handedly. Just as Belair gets Fyre into the KOD though, it looks as though the tag titles are about to change hands. Cargill gets attacked on the outside by Blair Davenport. The match gets thrown out immediately, and then we bear witness to Cargill and Belair being beaten up by Fyre, Dawn and Davenport. Cargill ending up being thrown over the announcer's table. Finally, they may have something for Paige version 2.
Fingers crossed. Finally, we get to see the new Money in the Bank briefcase Nia Jax promised Tiffany Stratton last week. Upon Jax handing it to Stratton though, she advises her not to cash it in on her, and the case is exactly as you'd imagined.
Absolutely love that it had the strap so she can wear it as a handbag as well. I love that. Totally getting it.
Final match of the night, DIY defending their WWE Tag Team titles against the Bloodlines Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. Solo and Tanga are at ringside too. DIY take it to the Bloodline, with Tommaso getting a 2 count off an air raid crash. Tonga then hits a huge splash from the top rope on Ciampa and goes for the pin. As the ref hits 2 though, Gargano breaks it up. A shatter machine is the turning point though, as DIY hit this on Tonga. Lower gets on the apron and distracts the referee. With the ref distracted, Solo Simone spikes Tommaso, virtually taking him out the rest of the match. Johnny Wrestling is then double teamed by the Bloodline, but does manage a small comeback by super kicking Fatu, Tonga and Lower. Gargano then hits a Poison Rana on Jacob Fatu, who completely no-sells it, because he's that hard. Fatu then hits Gargano with a pop-up Simone drop, a moonsault from the top rope and an impact DDT. Johnny Wrestling ain't getting up from that, and he doesn't. Fatu covers Gargano and picks up the win for the Bloodline, who become the new WWE Tag Team Champions. The Bloodline then get in the ring, with Tonga and Fatu placing their newly acquired tag belts on the shoulders of Solo. Once again, SmackDown goes off the air with the Bloodline acknowledging and Sikoa raising the Tag Team titles. Part 1 of the task is done.
SummerSlam is looking even more exciting now it's Bloodline Rules, where basically really anything can happen now.
And I think another reason why they've done this is because, as I might have said on a previous video, and if you're still watching, thank you, that they want to turn SummerSlam into WrestleMania at Summer.
Yes.
And next year they're making it over 2 nights. WrestleMania's 2 nights, SummerSlam. So that's telling you they want to make it
Just as big.
Summer's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And I think with the Bloodline Rules thing, and anything can happen, it gives them the opportunity to bring in the big stars.
Big names.
Like Austin. I'm not saying he's going to be there.
Obviously Reigns returning. You heard it here first.
But he ain't as big as Austin. Subjective, but he ain't, trust me. But it's always the big names at Mania and never anywhere else.
Yes.
Okay, you'll get the odd person coming in Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's the big names for Mania because they know Mania is the big one. And that's what I think they want to do with SummerSlam, is make it as big as Mania. It's on 2 nights next year. And if they bring in the big names, like Undertaker or Austin or The Rock, not that they will be there, well, I hope one of them is, that's what they're aiming for. That's what they're gunning for, is it's something massive like that.
Definitely.
Anyway, thank you again for watching.
And we'll see you for our SummerSlam review on Sunday.